So we're back with another Trade Legends podcast. I'll do my little piece down here. If you could go give us a like, subscribe, and just interact with the channel, it means I'll get to interview real great guests, like Rye, who we have on today. Rye, give us a little intro to yourself. Tell us where you're from. Tell us a bit about your business, and tell us how you came to be on the Trade Legends podcast.
So, my name is Ryan O'Sullivan. I am originally from Wimbledon in London. Still live around that area.
Part of the Crazy Gang.
Yeah. So, Wimbledon, actually with the Crazy Gang era, 97, 98, I think I was about 12 or something. I was in the football academy playing for Wimbledon. Okay. But even now, Rye Group, the business, we sponsor AFC Wimbledon. Yep. The Phoenix Club rose from the ashes when Milton Keynes stole our league spot. So Rye Group is my main business. We have plumbers, electricians, gas engineers, heating engineers, drainage engineers, painters, decorators, tilers, bathroom, kitchen fitters, etc., etc., etc.
So what we tend to do on the Trade Legends podcast, I don't know whether it's similar to other podcasts, but we like to get the guests on, get you to sort of take us back to, you're at school, were you academic, weren't you academic? Did you leave school early? How did you get into the trades? Was there anybody that sort of, you learnt off, or, any good stories or advice that you can give to people? So just take us back and give us how you sort of got to be in the trades and your sort of journey to where you are now, where we see you hosting from the tools and the stuff that you do with your business, your own podcast that you've got. Yeah. Give us a bit of backstory to you.
Let's go back in time then. At school, I unfortunately didn't do well, right? And I was saying this the other day, I don't know whether I failed the school system or the school system failed me, right? But I hated it, is the bottom line. But originally, when I sort of was in primary school, I got diagnosed with like special needs, right? I think they call it SEN, like special educational needs or something. So in my primary days, in my school system where I was from, I went to a Catholic school. So it was primary school up to year 4. Then year 5, year 6, year 7, and year 8 was middle school, and then high school was year 9, 10, and 11. But yeah, I had someone sitting next to me, like, like a support teacher, and I hated it, man. I was in denial as well. I'd be like, they're not with me. Like, seriously, I used to bomb them off and pretend that they weren't with me. But I wouldn't say I was naughty at school, but I don't know.
Challenging.
Yeah, and like them school gates, you'd see the school gates and like, you cannot leave them school gates. I would just leave them, go to the shop, come back. I didn't give a monkeys basically, but the school system, I don't know, man, like I'd shout out, not put my hand up, do you know what I mean? Get the answer wrong. I wouldn't even say I was a class clown. I just sometimes didn't understand what they were saying. So, but primary school was okay. Even middle school was okay. High school, I hated it. Because it was a rugby school, and I've got nothing against rugby, but it was forced down my throat, man. It was like, I don't know, you had PE and games, right? And PE, rugby, games, rugby, PE, rugby, games, rugby. And I was just like, this is the only thing I really care about in school was that side of like playing in the school football team or whatever. But yeah, going on from that, when I was younger, I didn't do well at school, but on weekends I done quite well with like judo and football and stuff. So I was always quite active. Throughout the whole school system, I was playing in football academies. So originally, when I was 9, I got scouted for Millwall, played for Millwall, and then I went to Wimbledon because it was closer to save. At the time, my mum would be driving me to Millwall's training ground, and it was just a bit out of reach from South London, which is where I was. And then played for Wimbledon Academy. Then I got released for being too small. And weirdly, I was talking to a chap yesterday on the Tools, the Belfry event, and his daughter's just been released for being too tall, apparently, because nowadays for football they want people that have got a low centre of gravity, apparently. But yeah, I got released for being too small at Wimbledon. Then I went to Brentford, and then in like year 9, year 10, year 11, I kind of was excelling at football, and it was pretty much on the cards that was my route to my how do I say this? That was going to be my career, and then bang, released, man, and just fell flat on my ass with it, and basically had no plan in my life. But when I was at school, I was doing the construction things where I had problems with the learning stuff. I did go to other colleges, you know, in year 10 or whatever to start doing building skills. So then from 16 years old or 17 years old, whatever it was, I had loads of jobs very quickly. So I worked in Pizza Hut, £3.80 an hour. Yeah. Then I went to Harvester, £4 an hour. Then I had to leave Harvester because weirdly my eyebrow was pierced, and I've only just got it done again because I think I'm probably having a midlife crisis with the eyebrow piercing. But yeah, so they made you like take out piercings because of food or whatever. So I worked for the Harvester, and then Top Man, Halfords, had all these jobs, and then eventually my dad managed to get me an interview at British Gas. So I went to British Gas, done a year's apprenticeship with them, learning boiler breakdowns.
How old are you at this time?
18.
Yeah.
18. So yeah, done an apprenticeship with British Gas, a very quick apprenticeship, and become Corgi registered. Then soon after, Gas Safe took over. Then whilst I was at British Gas, I was doing night college for electrics. So I'd done 4 years at night college for electrics, and then ended up leaving British Gas to go to another company to learn how to fit boilers. And then at 20 years old, went out on my own as a gas engineer / electrician / multi-trader. So that was that. And then built the business bought Leicester's not that far from here, is it?
It's about an hour away.
Yeah. So I went to Leicester, I got a van, bought a black van, turned up and it was dark navy. So I was a bit gutted with that, but I bought it anyway, $3,500. And then first van, and then just grew from there really. So I went from a one-man band to building a business which has probably got about 30 odd people currently. Yeah. So yeah, here we are today basically.
Yeah. I mean, for anybody listening or watching the show, I mean, the main questions we get asked are normally around apprentices, or it's to do with women in trades if it's ladies on. And the other one really is how to grow a business, because I get so many people that want to expand. We get the odd one that just wants to stay on their own and stuff like that, but we get a lot of people that message us and say, oh, how do I go from 2 members of staff to say 5, or is there a big jump from 5 to say 20?
Yeah.
Just give us a little bit of backstory or a bit of advice for anybody that is listening and watching, because to go from just yourself to now there's potentially 30 members of staff, it's, and anything that you find that's difficult, like managing the staff or making sure everyone's got materials, what bits can people sort of pick up from your experience that could help them?
Do you know what the thing is with it? Some of my advice might be a bit outdated now.
Yeah.
Because business has changed in the last, say, 5 years. It's changed since COVID, really, I think. But what I done is, I for some reason we win quite a lot of work, right? So my thing was always to delegate out, like you said earlier, right? Find someone that can do 80%. You're never going to find someone that can do 100% of what you do, because if they did do that, they'd probably work for themselves, right? Yeah. But I play to my strengths, right? And I delegate out my weaknesses. And I think to scale a business, it has to be profitable growth. I think we, though, as a business, again, have kind of probably hit a ceiling that now I'm like, okay, well, I'm definitely going to scale this now. But the way I'm going to scale it now is probably a new way to scale, which is going to be software, tracking stuff, AI, which obviously we mentioned. I think if we mix football and business in with it, statistics is how teams win games now? How many passes? Who had the best possession? And obviously, you want to score more goals than you let in. So you need to make sure, like again, me and you spoke earlier, your margin, you need to have a little bit of leeway if something goes wrong. But what I done was, let's say I had a boiler installation and it made £1,000. I would then put somebody on that job knowing that I could then cover their wages for a certain amount of time. And whilst let's say you throw the ball up in the air, whilst that ball was up in the air, I would then go and do other bits that made it worthwhile for the time and the money.
Yeah.
But I think it comes down to your lifestyle, like having, say you change every 7 years, having, you've got to be in the right place at the right time to grow a business or to scale. There's no point in you trying to bite off more than you can chew. You know, if you can't digest it fully, then don't bother. Don't bother trying to put more on your plate, right? But I think not everyone should have a big business. You know, some people there's nothing.
What was one thing that you struggled with when you were going from yourself to 30 members of staff? What was, if you look back and you think, I probably could have gone from there to there a lot quicker if I'd have just done.
Yeah, good question.
Because is it like when I was growing this place here, it was like I said to you off camera, the decisive moment of the business going boom was when me and the sis who I ran the business with went, you take that and I'll take that side of the business. And it wasn't until then, because we would bicker about, like, I don't know, if you ordered this, and it was like, why haven't you ordered it? And it was like, actually, if I just left all that side to the sis and I didn't get involved in it, I wouldn't be wasting 20 minutes having an argument with her about something that doesn't really concern me. Yeah,
I think something I struggled with and probably still struggle with is maybe letting go a little bit. I think sometimes I'm a bit of a micromanager.
The control freak.
Yeah, and it's like there's something that, you know, even I need to take notes myself from that. But so now I'm a dad. Now it's changed. My partner, Sarah, runs the business with me, and she's always 2 years in front of me. She's always like, we need to be doing this. And then I'm like, no, not yet. She says that was tomorrow. I think it's in Spanish or something. Mañana. Yeah, man. That's what she always says that to me. But I think it's don't be afraid to let go of things, because things change. And that comes down to people as well. Like sometimes I used to hang on to people that were either just not correct, or, you know, for us, or may not have been for them. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a hard question to answer that, I suppose. But probably it's the letting go of certain things in the business that I shouldn't be doing, and get someone else that can probably do it better.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems with that is pricing jobs, right? My strength in the business is like estimating, and because I've got such a varied skill set, for me to go and price work is very quick compared to if I
sending someone else.
Yeah, because I have to send for some jobs. If we go to a property refurb, you need to know about plumbing, you need to know about electrics, you need to know about building.
Two or three people.
Exactly that, and it's still my problem. Like the fact that I price so much work, and then it's all good pricing it, but then once the job happens, you need to then manage the job. And then sometimes my office are completely out of the loop on what's going on with the jobs, because it's long-winded for me to tell them, so I'm easier just to run it myself. But like back in the day when I first started out, to get work through the door was quite easy. Advertising was fairly cheap.
How did you advertise back? Because now social media seems to be. There's a lot of people that get their work either via a local Facebook page, or, you know, using their Instagram as their, you know, CV in essence, like their window to the world type of thing.
My first advert was Van Sign Print.
Yeah.
And I swear by it. I think, you know, to have a brand that's rememberable is great. But then at the same time, I also appreciate the fact that people don't want to put their sign print on there because they're a bit more private. Or van tool theft. But for whatever a van, I think it was 500 quid back in the day for me to sign print a van. So I definitely reaped the rewards from it. The local newspaper, I paid £50 a week to go in that, which at the time I thought was really expensive, but now I'd fucking love to get that back, you know. And I joined Checker Trade in 2009.
Yeah.
So that was good at the time. It was, quite easy to get a return on a little amount of an outlay. But to get work through the door now is so expensive, man. Like it really is. And then to get leads through the door or to get customers through, it costs a fortune. And then you need
trying to get the right inquiries now, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Yeah. But I mean, we're gonna, before COVID hit, we were going to franchise. So I sat down with a really, really, really big franchise company. That's where Rye came from. So originally we're known as Rye Gas.
Yeah.
But then Rye Gas obviously kind of pigeonholed us to just be doing gas boilers, although people thought we sold gas quite a lot instead of actually being gas engineers. Yeah. But to scale now, I'm going to be doing it with, AI and software, because human error is so easy. I think now if the homeowners now are a new generation, they're in their 20s, the people that are coming onto the property ladder, and they're techie. So say, for instance, if you wanted a rewire done, to come to your house is normally how we would have come round, looked at it, spec'd it, walked around with you. But ultimately now you can do that on video, and there's companies out there that are pricing very aggressively, and I think quite cheap that they're doing it, but they're taking market shares. And they're not, let's say my business is based in London, they're nowhere near London, and you can go on a website, bang, 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 and you can get a price for multiple jobs. So, but yeah, the thing is, you know what it's like running a business. It's stressful, right? There's no easy or right or wrong way. Just every day you've just got to try and get your to-do list in order and get your priorities straight, right?
Chip it off.
Yeah. Do you do to-do lists?
So the only to-do list that I actually do is every year when it gets to just before New Year, is I write a list of probably between 10 and 15 things that I want to achieve in that year. And then how I achieve them is up to me, because what I always tend to find is whenever I do anything and it's planned, it never goes to plan. And I always find that when you do one thing, it leads to something that you hadn't planned for that actually 9 times out of 10 is a good thing, which then leads you off in another direction. You think, hold on a minute, I've got to achieve all these things, or I haven't done this, and you're too fixated with what's going on over here. So the only thing I would ever do is at the start of the year, I'd go, right, okay, this year I want to grow the turnover to 6 million, or this year I want to do £1 million in non-lighting products, or whatever it was. And I was always like, okay. And then it didn't matter. I had 365 days of the year to achieve those. And it was sort of what happened over time was I would become more efficient in going after the things that I'd set, because I'd be like, right, okay, I've done that. And now I can see I don't need to do this one next, because I've got no chance of doing that, because I need to do this one first to achieve.
Yeah.
And, sometimes when they're in a list order as well, you're trying to tick them off in order.
Yeah.
And you think, actually, I could have done that one first, and then that would have happened.
Yeah.
Because you've done that whole list of things, and you learn to get a bit more efficient.
Efficiency is the key word, right?
Yeah.
My to-do list is like, I write lists for everything, man. My whole world's on a list on my iPhone. But the thing is, now you can have them boxes where you can tick them off. It's kind of in a priority order. Yeah. But even if I go on holiday, I pack in my head like a week before, and then when it actually comes down to packing, I just follow the list, man. Yeah.
If it were, I find everybody has, and this is why I like talking to people on the podcast, because you'll come on and you'll say, have you tried this? I go, I haven't tried it. And then you go away and you find, actually, like, that little bit works for me. And people always sort of say, can you give us any tips for growing a business or doing this? And what I think works for me might not work for somebody else.
Yeah.
But if you can take the little bits from the little nuggets of information that you give out on here, or other guests have given out, and you just try 1 or 2 of those things, you'll probably find that you get 5% quicker, or 5% more efficient, or 5% like savings on your business.
Yeah.
And that's why the podcast was started, really, was to give people the information.
Yeah.
And then it's up to them how they run with it.
Yeah, no, listen, it's good to talk, man. Like, what was that? I think that was a BT Cellnet advert on it. Yeah. But I think it's like copy and pivot. So take what you want to take out of that, and then pivot into how you want to do it.
Nobody's ever got original ideas. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I mean,
agree.
like, you know, people go, "Oh, Elon Musk, he designed the electric car." Well, no, you had electric milk floats back in the day.
Yeah,
it's just the technology.
Are they still around? They still around?
I'm not too sure, but stuff like that. When you look at it, there's always somebody that takes something, adapts it, and makes it better. It was the same, like I said to you off camera. Was Gymshark were located just down the road, so I sort of took their playbook and.
And do you know what's good? The fact you're even saying that, right? Yeah. It's nothing. There's no shame in saying. I'd seen what they were doing, and I sort of followed the blueprint, right?
I mean, I didn't really, if I'm honest, didn't really know the intricacies of what they were doing.
Yeah.
I just saw that a lot of influencers were showing off their product, and I thought, maybe I'll send some to people, and if the product's any good, they'll use it. And I never wanted anything back from anybody that I sent items out to. I was just like, do you know what? I love your page. Yeah. And it'd be great if I saw you using these. You know, if you don't like them, come back, tell me. You don't have to show them off. I'm not going to be offended. Yeah. And that's how the business took off.
It's like, what do they say? Speculate to accumulate.
Yeah.
So you're giving a load of stuff away for free, but you know you're going to gain something from it.
Well, I'll let you into a secret. It was before we launched the website to start doing some direct to consumer, I'd given away £20,000 worth of product. And the sis was like howling at me.
You're like, trust me.
And she's going, I can't believe what, because we were sending, because it's not just the product that you give away. I was sending products to influencers in America, Canada, Australia, Europe, South America, and the cost of like flying and shipping this stuff over there, because it's got lithium batteries in it as well. No one wants to touch it, so it's an extra surcharge on top. And it was about 20,000. And then when we turned the website on, we had obviously like a tracker. You can see where all the orders are coming in. And we did 10 grand in about the first 2 hours.
And what did Sis say to you?
She went, maybe I was a little bit wrong about it. And it was the same about the podcast.
Is she older? She older, younger?
She's older.
Big sis.
Yeah. So you know,
I love the way how you say sis, man. That's lovely.
But we, when we first did this cost 20 grand as well. The whole set, cameras, everything cost it. And I remember her saying, "Do you know how much you've spent on this?" And I was like, "No," because I'm the one that spends the money and doesn't think about it. I just think that's what I want to do.
You're the striker.
And I've got to do it. And she said, "Yeah, you spent 20,000." She goes, "Have you finished?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I've got to get this."
Well, listen, mate, it's money well spent, man. Money well spent, mate. It really is.
But now you look back on it, and this is where, obviously, you know, we talk about getting somebody in that's 80% of what you can do, where they suddenly, you know, you don't question each other because you know that it works. So it's like you go and try
100%, yeah. But you know what? I was saying this the other day, yeah? Like, there was a time that I was unemployable, but now I'm not, because if someone can do something you can't do, that's when you respect someone in business. And if we go back to that question about, like, what would you do to any advice you'd give, is Sarah and me as a business pair, we work well because I play that side of the pitch and she plays that side of the pitch. And I think with people, if they are going to go into a partnership with someone, you need to make sure you guys are not doing the same thing. You need to be completely opposite positions, you know? And the other thing I think as well is a lot of people, it has to go bad normally before it goes good, you know, and you have to have the growing pains and all the breakages and all that stuff, because that's what makes you tough. They say like diamonds are formed under pressure.
Lessons, I think.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the experience, isn't it? But like with you spending your money in the podcast studio and you giving out stuff for free, it's great that you waited for the 360 for it to come back and get its worth. And with businesses, there was multiple times that probably I'm like worn out or drained, but then you just have to trust the process and back yourself to carry on.
A lot of people that start businesses, especially today, it's I don't know whether social media has changed people's perceptions, but it's the short-termism.
Exactly.
I would do something and I'd forget about it. But then 7, 8, 12 months round, I'd go, that's led to that.
It's seeding, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think, like you say, which comes back to your to-do list, if you just chip away at things every day and you get 10 out of your 12 things done every day and you keep chipping away, your list might grow. But when you look back after a year, you go, actually, I've achieved all that. Which is why I always used to write 10 or 15 things that I want to achieve or I want to do, which one of them this year was to start jiu-jitsu or martial art, which
amazing.
I'm doing.
So going on to that, then have you had a tournament or anything?
No. So my son, I think he did 10 lessons. He got his first white stripe on his belt, and now every time I come home, because I've probably done about 20 lessons now, something like that. 20, 21 lessons, and every time I come home, he's like, "Well, I've still got the white stripe," because I haven't got mine yet, and I keep trying to say to him, "Look, I've only started this to appease you."
What time do you do it at? Is it like 9 o'clock at night or something?
No, it's so I do 2 lessons a week, Tuesday and a Thursday, and it's 11 till 12 on both during the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I get manhandled, get abused, and then go home and try and sit there with like aching shoulders, aching knees, and
that's amazing, man. That's cool. They do it during the day, then.
Yeah. There's only 2 classes during the day, and those are the 2.
How do people? So obviously, with yourself, you've put yourself in a position that you can do that. But is there people that go down their lunch break and stuff?
There's people that work from home, so they'll take their lunch and go, and then there's other people that are PTs, so they'll just book themselves out.
Yeah.
They'll go. It's probably about 10 or 11 people. Whereas if you go on the night time, there's 30 people there.
That's when I was doing judo, man. Like, it was always after the kids had done it. So it'd be like 9 o'clock, but you get home and you're just wired still and you can't then sleep. But going on to business and exercise, I think it's really helped me. It's really weird because when I was young, I was super fit. Yeah. And then when I was in business, I was relentless. I wouldn't stop. I would just keep working. And I outworked everyone. That was when I say rose the business up with vans and stuff. Anyone else that had 1 van or had 2 vans or 3, I just kept lapping them because I would just be getting 2 days work done in a day. Because when it hit 5, I would just carry on till 10. And I put on weight, man, just because I was just eating crap, getting deliveries to the office and stuff like that.
What happens is you see the business grow and it becomes addictive.
Yeah.
And then, like I said to my wife, was obviously I hit 40 and I was like, one of the things was I'm going to get back in shape. For the last 2 years, I haven't hit that. And I thought, well, what's the one thing that I can't get back if it goes, which is your health?
Yeah.
So I was like, this year, I have to do something about
health,
it.
They say health is wealth, don't they, man?
But that's probably one of the biggest things that I have to sacrifice over the last 10 years was
same, man.
Looking after yourself.
Yeah.
So.
But like now with, I was saying I lost my mum in 2.5 years ago or something. And then I had a year where I sort of stabilised my dad. He's disabled, so he was living in a house that my mum was there and kind of, I suppose, helped him and cooked for him and this, that and the other. And then when she was no longer around, I ultimately became my dad's dad. You know what I mean? And then, so that was a tough...
that's hard when you're running a business.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough. And then he moved in with me, and then naturally I'd done what he done, which was have beers a lot and eat a lot of crap food. So I gained even more weight. And then he had to go into hospital to have his heart operated on. And then he was in there for like 3 months maybe. And I was still working. I was still on my laptop at the side of the bed, grafting, again, quoting jobs. But then one day at Christmas morning, the day after New Year's Day or something, I was rough, man, really ill. And I just went for a run. And I come back and I was like, oh my God, that felt good. Then again, I went for a run. Then again, I went for a run. And now I've just built it into my life that any morning that I can, I'll go to the gym, do a 45-minute HIIT workout, and I come out of there and I swear down, I'm on top of the world, man, because I compartmentalise everything I've got to do that day, and then I try and action it, and I normally get 8 out of 10 things done that I wanted to do. Yeah. And it gives me mental clarity, and the endorphins you get from exercise for business, I don't know how to say it, what I get, my business brain's better, you know? Yeah. So I wish I could give I'm 38 now. I wish I could give the 28-year-old Ryan that advice, because the 38-year-old Ryan's...
I think trades as well, it's really difficult, because if you're on a job, something goes wrong, 9 times out of 10, there's always an issue, or the job takes longer. And then if your day gets put back, you're like, I've got to get to the next job. And you're continually chasing your tail. So when you're in a van, you're going to reach for whatever's quick food, whether that's, I don't know, a chocolate bar or a packet of crisps or, a fizzy drink because you just walk into the.
Mate, I was addicted to Lucozade Sports.
And that's
seriously, I was.
That's probably. I mean, you get it with people that work in an office because they're glued to the computer. But there's no real excuse if you work in an office to not eat decent food because you can just go out.
Yeah.
When you're in somebody's house and they're like, "How long are you going to be?" or whatever it is, you're like. You just don't.
Yeah, it's hard to eat healthy, man. My diet's shocking still to today is because it's not easy just to go and get a healthy snack. It's very easy to just go and get junk food, isn't it? But what I would say, anyone watching, I would strongly recommend exercising to get better at business. And I think a lot of it as well is in the trade industry because you are going under, baths or going into lofts or lifting stuff. You kind of need to warm up to do that. So I would think it would probably, if you did do some exercise, it will keep you fitter for longer. Because ultimately, what happens when you hit a certain age and you haven't done it, your body's broken, and then like we said about scaling the business, getting off the tools. If you can get off the tools, that's amazing. Say if that suits you. If you want to stay on the tools, that's also amazing because being on the tools, I miss it fully. But again, I've got this love-hate relationship of if I probably went back on the tools for a few months, I probably didn't want to get off them. You know what I mean? But I think again, obviously, if you did for whatever reason have a health issue or an injury, to be able to work off the tools is good. I think, but I kind of lost my drift there. But I'd strongly recommend exercising as part of a way of life with running a business or being a tradesperson, man.
So what's the future hold for yourself?
Good question, man.
For the business, where would you, ideal scenario, you wave the magic wand, where would you like to see yourself or the business or whatever it is that you're doing now? What would you hope for?
For business or for personal?
Either. I think that the two are so intertwined these days.
Yeah. No, it's a good question, man. And listen, I think this is really nice to talk about because if you don't talk about it, ultimately you don't have your direction sorted out, But I want to be the best version of myself and I want to be the best dad I can be for my 2 children and I've got a baby on the way. So to do that, I need to now use all the experience and life lessons that I've had to now implement the next, let's say, 5 years. As a business, we do, if we said about, let's say, BJJ, look, when, for instance, I was doing judo, I was Surrey champion. So you become Surrey champion, then you become Southern area champion, and then you go to the nationals, i.e. the Great Britain team, So let's say in my local area, I've done all right in that area, So the next goal for me is to expand, which is what I was sort of planning before COVID. But for me to expand it can't just be me because I don't have I wouldn't say I haven't got the facilities for it, but I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. I need to now bring in other people that will come into the business that will then be able to implement what I need to implement. The business has changed now, and I think with having, let's say I want to go national, which is what I want to do. I want to have Rye all around the UK. What I was originally doing was I would have had like a gold franchise, silver franchise, bronze. So because I do mixed trades, I would be able to take a franchise that can do, let's say, plumbing and electrics. Some people don't want to do that. They just want to have plumbing and just do plumbing. Some people just do electrics. But I've got a thing about postcodes, right? Like I kind of know all the postcodes within reason that I kind of want to hit. I've actually got I've got tattoos of postcodes, right? But having an employed workforce is quite hard, I think, to scale now. So I'm very interested in being able to work and collaborate with other tradespeople. So, for instance, if, let's say, Rye turned up in Portsmouth, there shouldn't be no reason why a Rye trusted tradesman can be, let's say, AB Plumbing and Heating endorsed by us, right? Lead generation and other companies now, majority of them, are actually are doing their own trades anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit of a free for all out there now. Like, whereas before you would have even like, say, boiler manufacturers, let's say like, I'm not going to mention any of them, but, some of them fit their own boilers now, which I think isn't necessarily the right etiquette, because if
Worcester Bush.
well, I mean, they know who they are, right? But if you're selling a product, I
can get away with mentioning it.
Yeah, if you sell a boiler though, you should let someone fit it. Do you know what I mean? And obviously the warranties are obviously massive now as well. So that's kind of put a lot of people out of work they would have had on the repairs and servicing. So I'm like, well, that's it now. We now need to go and be a lead generation system where someone can go onto Rise website, get a quote instantly anywhere in the country, and get it fitted the next day. So what I'm currently working on is like I said, I don't let go sometimes, right? So change and stuff, I find it sometimes hard to do with it. But now I've got the kids, I'm like, well, I'm so time poor now that I now need to start letting things move in different directions that are out of my control. So our software that we've been on it since 2014 maybe, and it's a good software system, and I recommend one-man bands who aren't on any software to get onto them, so you can track all of your jobs. And if you do have a quiet spell, you can then ping out a message to your customers saying you've got special offers, and then you can check how many customers you've got, check your growth, do all your invoicing in one place and stuff. But we're changing software because it doesn't do what we need it to do anymore, and then there's not enough plugins. There's other companies that have stuff and it doesn't plug in with the software. So this summer we're changing our software. AI now, we're looking at bringing that in, so when people book, it doesn't have to be a human that naturally answers.
Automatic,
yeah. And again, don't get me wrong, I think it's good to be able to ring someone and talk to them. That's how I buy things. Even if I wanted a laptop, I want to go to a shop really to buy it. So then if there's a problem, I can go and kick off at them, But yeah, so that's what we're doing now. So the goal for Rye is to go into more areas, and we are smaller than what we should be anyway. Like there was potential for 20 vans, 20 more vans a long time ago, but I held it back. But in a way, I'm glad I held it back, because I don't think we were ready anyway. Let's say my baby's now 18 years old, which is now not a baby, it's an adult. So now the adult can,
it's a good
go on.
Analogy.
Yeah. And so that's what the plan is now. I'm still gonna keep pushing it. I enjoy what I do. I love it. Like, I love the trade industry, man. Recently, I've gone on a few detours into other stuff. Like I was maybe doing some radio stuff. Obviously, filming I'm constantly doing, but deep down, I'm a tradesman, man. Do you know what I mean? And I just know that's kind of what my skill set is. So I should kind of stay in my lane. Yeah. But I think it's good that I went on a couple of detours, and it's not saying I'm not going to do them, but they need to fit in.
Makes you realise sometimes that that should be your focus, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's good to distract yourself sometimes, because otherwise you just.
Yeah.
So it's good to have other things to do.
Yeah, man. But like I say, it's even talking to yourself, man. Like I can just feel that we would talk for hours, man. Because to surround yourself with like-minded individuals is a lovely thing to do, innit, man?
Yeah.
I chew people's ear offs in the sauna and steam, man. You don't ever want to see me and David Lloyd, mate. People don't get away from me, man. Just chewing their ear off.
I haven't finished yet.
Yeah. But even earlier on, I went for a sauna and steam and a bit of grub before I come here, and it was a tiniest little sauna
in the men's change room.
Yeah, but I was like to these guys, this is an old David Lloyd, isn't it? It's not been done up, but it's tiny, man. But I was chewing everyone's ear off, man.
Steam room's in with the kids' pool.
Yeah. Although the kids' pool looks good in there. Yeah. What you look at when you're done, isn't it? But
I go to the gym to get away from the kids, so I'm like, I can't have a steam room by the kids' pool. Just want to say a big thank you to Rhino Trade Insurance, who are now our official insurance partner. And to go hand in hand with that, they have given us a cheeky little discount code across all of their policies. So when you are filling out a form online and trying to get a quote, or speaking with a team member, All you have to do is give the code Trade Legends to get an exclusive discount across all of their policies.
Oh, thanks, man. So, so on the tools, recently I've done, we went to a car boot sale with a load of police.
I did see that, actually.
That was good, man. It was...
an eye-opener.
Yeah, it was good, though. Like, at first, it was a bit hostile when we got there because, like, there was all these tools in the car boot sale on the floor. And when I got there, the first thing I seen was a guy put, like, a rug over the tools. And I was like, why are you doing that if they're not... Like, so I was like, oh, them tools, are they stolen? He was like, no. I'm like, well, why are you hiding them then? Do you know what I mean? But, mate, the people in the boot sale, they were kicking off. Like, they were a tight-knit community, and they were... At one point, I thought it was going to be a tear-up, man. They were coming up being like, go away, they're not nicked, blah, 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 blah. But we did actually... There's a thing called selector DNA.
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Yeah.
Got a packet of the good stuff up there.
Yeah, it's good, man. I think it works out like £1 a stamp or whatever it is per tool.
I mean, the funny thing is that I put a video of Schweb talking about it when we interviewed Rob Jenerick, the MP, the other day.
Yeah.
And the engagement was so low on it. And I'm thinking every tradesperson should be watching that video because, you know, you see people crying about their tools, getting upset about it, like getting really angry when they get done over. And you're thinking, that one video...
Oh, mate, it's incredible. But like this geezer got his van broken into in Westfields in London, and then 2 weeks later we found it. I called him up, and he was like buzzing, man. Yeah, so he's got his tools back now. But tool theft is something I'm strongly passionate about, man. I've had loads of my vans broken into, and it's just fucking... It's not even sometimes even just the tools that are the problem. It's then the van damage.
Yeah, well, you can't get the new... Mark was saying you can't get the new doors for like 6 to 12 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of the manufacturers, the wait time to get a new door.
Yeah, so just a pain in the neck, isn't it, man?
That's why they're writing some of these vans off.
Yeah, it's not good. And then recently, I'll tell you what else I've been doing is sort of like we played the football game, Trade Legends, in Wales, which was really good. That was for mental health. Yeah. And then yesterday, I'd done some videoing for a golf day for Screed Pappy and on the tools, and that was good, man. Like it's.
I mean, how did that tie up with? Because I know Lee and Ad over there, nice people. How did that tie up come for you with on the tools? They just get in contact.
No, I'll tell you what happened is. Do you know Dave Finnegan?
I do, yeah. Dave Elwood, yeah.
Yeah, Dave. I suppose is
everyone always thinks he's Dave Elwood, but he's Finnegan.
Yeah. It was his dad's favourite film character or something. I think the business come from. But no, I seen him in Birmingham and just got on with him, and then he invited me. On the tools, invited me to play in a football. In a football, an event for Speedy Hire.
Yeah.
And it was like all these, as like 10 tradies that could play a bit of footy. And we all like played against each other, like kicking the ball into the cement bucket and doing football. Is it Orbin, the big orbs?
Yeah.
So we've done that. It hasn't come out yet. We filmed it in October. So I can't say what happened on it, but it should be good, man. Yeah. But so that's how I got into it. But I don't know. It's like you just find yourself in scenarios where you just keep bumping into the same old people, you know. But part of the reason why I am back on social media, because social media it can be a poisoned chalice. It can be very negative, and I don't like negativity. I can't work with it. I only want positive stuff in life, man. Negativity just gets me down, you know, like everybody. So I just try and I think it's a song, stick to the bright side in life. But again, one of the other reasons why I am back on social media is I'm naturally, I suppose, trying to network with more tradies. So then when Rye does take the leap to get out of, say, London, hopefully I would have had a contact base that I can start bringing in other tradies to work with us.
Is that where the podcast came from? Because you do your own podcast as well.
Yeah, so the podcast is probably not... Sarah's sort of more the brains behind that, right? But the podcast is a part of it. But we're going to start doing training courses on it, how to like scale businesses. There's going to be there'll be a members area on the website, and there'll be lots of. It's a business related club.
Yeah.
For tradespeople to gain potential, basically. That's where trade gains sort of come from. But obviously, part of it is the podcast is part of it. But it's going to be sort of business coaches.
Yeah.
I'll be one of them. But then there's obviously only so much I can teach. There's obviously then going to be other people that are better in their field. Areas, yeah. So that's been happening with that. So I've had 3 studios so far, trying to get the right one. The first one was like a converted horse stable. I've recently bought a farm, so then that was that. And then I put it into a barn, and then I moved it somewhere else. But now I've put it at the Rye HQ.
Yeah.
So it's similar to this size, but it's good now because you don't have to pack up. You can just leave everything out, and it's a great space. So we're not that long into it really. Talking about obviously like the social media thing. I did get rid of social media because I got burgled because of it. Right. So it really spooked me up, and then I didn't want to be back on there for a while. But again, obviously,
it's happened to a few people. Yanni, the car guy, Yanni Morris.
Yeah.
He'd gone and bought, I think it was a Richard Mille watch from Harrods.
Yeah.
Was showing it off on social, and then somebody broke into his house and like burgled the life out of him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not nice, is it, man? Yeah. But yeah, like obviously with Rye Group, the aim of the game now is to grow it into different postcodes throughout the UK, and I think social media is the
way to do it.
It's so easy to talk to people, isn't it? I mean, like obviously when you sent me a message, it was within probably a couple of hours. We're here.
It's done, yeah.
And then so it's a great way to be able to just message somebody, Didn't have that, but when I started the business, it wasn't. I mean, my first work phone was a BlackBerry. Yeah. I loved it. It was amazing.
I mean, this is like I bang on about it all the time, and I try and say to people the reason this business was successful because I sort of emulated what Gymshark did down the road. But now you can go on, you can watch people like yourself on YouTube giving away all this advice for free.
Yeah.
And okay, you sit there and go, what's good advice, what's bad advice, gets quite confusing. But you just, you can network with people instantly. Like I sent you that message, and it's such a powerful tool for people.
Yeah.
I just feel that people miss out on that side of things.
Yeah. I mean, with social media and different platforms and stuff, everyone has their own one. So like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I think mine's more YouTube. I haven't started fully yet, but I think that would be the one that I kind of want to go towards more to be able to show behind the scenes. Like, I want to show we've got so much filming that we've had for so many years that it's just sitting there. So when, for instance, we do get to the size that I know we'll get to, we can see what happened 15 years ago. Yeah. I'm going to bring in like a fly on the wall type documentary that just follow us around, and touch wood, everything. As long as health is good, then I'll just continue with what I sort of have in store. Health and time is the only thing I care about now, man, and family, right? Yeah. You always hear it, don't you? You hear people say that, but now it rings true to me when I say like family first. I genuinely, hand on my heart, mean it. So I said to you, what you're doing this weekend, I can just feel your energy when you say that what you're doing with your little ones tomorrow. Yeah. So
man. Round about this time, we do what's called it's a bit like a Jerry Springer final thought, isn't it, Jack? Is he nodding there? He's nodding.
Jerry Springer final thoughts.
Well, it's a bit like. So you could shamelessly plug yourself, which has anyone ever done that?
Rye Davis.
Rye Davis shamelessly plugged himself.
What does that mean?
Basically, if you want to find out more about me, here's all my links down below, and blah blah blah. And I'm R Davis Electrical across all social media platforms. Yeah. But you can wax lyrical about something for apprentices, or you could give away some advice. You could. It's just like a small segment, couple of minutes, just to sort of go, well, do you know what? I've learnt this now. This is what I'd like to achieve, or this is one thing that I would say to anybody listening or watching. Just don't do this, or just do this. So it's your...
Yeah, all right, cool. Where am I looking?
You can look down here.
Is that camera on?
Normally final thoughts like wide, isn't it? Or are you going...
Whoa, hello. So guys, where do I start with this? On the social media channels, my personal social media is Rye_O'Sully. The Rye Group social media pages are the_Rye Group, and the new business within our businesses is Trade Gains. So Trade Gains at the minute, the social media handle is Trade Gains_club, where we'll be bringing in special people to be able to help train and support other tradespeople within the community. So I think the website launches in the next week or so, and there'll be a members area that you can join. I don't know the website on that. I should know it, man. It's going to be like tradegains.com, I think. Yeah. I should know that. But if not, obviously,
we could always update it in the description on YouTube.
But yeah, and my message, if I was to give any messages out to any tradespeople watching it, trying to grow your business, I would say just don't rush things. There's been so many people that I've seen in business quit just before it probably would have worked. So don't give yourself a hard time. Be kind to yourself and just keep pushing forward. And if you have a bad day or a bad time in business, just work through it, and I'm sure at some point it will get easier.
And the last bit, exercise.
And the last bit, if I could give, I'm 38, if I could give any advice to my 28-year-old self, I would say get down the gym, man. Because I unfortunately just became very unhealthy. Yeah, don't skip leg day, yeah. Although, to be honest, man, I don't do legs that much. I don't even go gym, I do hip workouts.
I'll just cover more.
Yeah. But no, all jokes aside, I've really enjoyed today, man. Like, thank you very much for having me,
No
man.
worries. Well, sorry it took so long. And for anybody listening and watching, I'm just going to look down here. Like I've said before, go like, subscribe, leave a comment, and just engage with the channel, with the Instagram, the TikTok, all that sort of stuff, because it just means that myself and Mark, who normally is here, but he's hanging from Ibiza.
He was a good boy yesterday, though. I think he was in good shape yesterday.
He probably needed to like un-alcohol himself, didn't he? He drank himself into a stupor, but... Thank you very much for
thank you, man.
coming
I appreciate
on.
it.
I appreciate you.
And thank you very much for all of the freebies as well, man.
No worries. We try
wearing
to
that hoodie, man.
We try to look after people when they come.